Welcome to the afternoon sessions here on the last day. We all made it to the last day of the Brand Innovators activation. Thank you for hosting us. I'm here. I am Michele Calhoun. I'm the head of consumer health and wellness at GoodRx. And my team works with the non-RX brands and companies, so OTC, CPG manufacturers, consumer health companies, to reach and access the 1 in 4 Americans that use GoodRx and rely on GoodRx to make healthcare decisions. And so I'm here today with Leandro. Leandro is the Chief Technology Officer at Whole Foods. He has years of experience in his career in solving customer problems through technology, digital, and innovation. We're going to talk about that today. He led global technology, digital, and e-com teams at McDonald's, Kraft, Heinz, AB InBev, HP. And his mission, which I love, is to use technology to empower consumers, businesses, and communities. And to foster a culture of collaboration and experimentation and excellence. I love that. And we have a shared mission. GoodRx is also using technology to empower people and make things easier for them on their healthcare journey. So with that, I'll just jump into some questions here. So when we first connected, when Leandro and I were speaking about our session, one of the things that we talked about is your investment in deep audience insights, and a good example of which is the Whole Foods annual trend forecast. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Sure. First of all, thanks for inviting me. Happy to be here. So this report came after, as you know, Whole Foods has more than 40 years of exploring trends in food, local trends as well, and try to see how this can be the future of food and health. And because of that, 10 years ago, we started actually issuing this report. It's basically the 10 food trends for the next year, right? It's being really well regarded and inspected by the industry every year. And we do that basically getting insights from our foragers in every local that we are, and also studying globally what are the trends for food and how this relates to well-being, health, and other issues, and trying to understand what is actually trending. And that, of course, serves our selection of products, but also serves the community in terms of what they should be trying and testing for their better well-being.
And you've been doing that for 10 years, I think you said?
10 years, yeah.
Yep, so you've got a lot of trending data. There were some interesting ones I think we talked about that you found as it relates to sort of food as medicine and healthier lifestyle. Like food as medicine is another trend that we see. You want to talk some about those? Hydration was one I think you talked about.
Yeah, the trends for 2025 that we believed, and that's actually realizing, is hydration hype is one of them. Really all sorts of flavors in water and also other ways of consuming water. Of course, everybody knows that water is very healthy, and that's actually it's being a trend. We have things like protein powerhouses as well. Everything has protein and it's healthy. It's being consumed, not only meat-related, but also especially plant-based related, right? A lot of protein shakes and stuff like that. We see a lot of hype on that. And there are other things that are interesting, like especially my favorite, sourdough. It's been a trend, stepped up not only in bread, but also in pizzas and actually pastas and stuff like that. So really interesting hype as well. Sourdough is healthier as a form of bread, as you know. So it's actually, you see that more and more people are more and more concerned about well-being and healthy, and it's actually being represented in the food trends as well.
Another one I'll mention that you mentioned was tea time. Tea and its resurgence.
It's interesting. I'm a tea drinker. I'm trying to actually replace coffee. I drink too much coffee. And there are so many different flavors and types of teas, international teas, and actually we can see that, I'm doing a bit of advertisement here in our store. You can see a lot of different types of teas, and it's really as well, very healthy and at the same time, very flavorful.
And so how do you translate these insights into business decisions at Whole Foods?
Yeah, these trends, they come, as I said, from many different sources, right? So it's basically a compilation of all that comes to this 10 food trends. But behind that, there's a lot of data. And this data comes from, as I said, to our foragers that are locally understanding what's happening, from reports from healthy institutions as well, and some other researchers to understand. And all this data is fed into our system. We have a very multi-layered system and algorithm to actually define our selection, which is pretty complex if you think about that. So all these layers in terms of health and our ingredients that are banned as well, so how to avoid these ingredients that are banned, how to actually get all the trends locally, because a big portion of our assortment is local in every single store or region, so we have to have this layer as well. And also add, of course, our first part and zero part data to understand actually what our consumers want. We ask them what they want, and we connect that to as well as to health. We are seeing a change on the concept of health being more like not only physical health but also mental being and everything. So it's really like understanding how this whole experience can be better for Whole Foods customers.
And then how do you translate that down to the store level?
Yeah, we have a concept called store level customer centricity. It's like really trying to, because one thing we realize is our assortment before was only based on regions, but sometimes you have the same city, for instance, and two demographics that are very different, right? So it's not because they're in the same region that they should have the same assortment, right? So we are trying, using AI and other things, we try to get more granular about that and try to be more personal to that region, at least in terms of what that what that store can carry compared to another store that's 5 blocks away. So that's actually really being powerful and actually help us to better serve what the customers need, right?
Yeah, and it makes that store experience more personalized, right, for them. And that's what my next question is around personalization and customer preference in the store experience. How are you taking that like a step further to drive that personalization?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. We are, being a retailer, we have the good thing of having first part data and zero part data. So we take care a lot of our data privacy and customer privacy. But using this data that actually is in our systems, we are able to really connect to the food trends and all the discussions I already mentioned, and generate some different experience for customers. Like if you are in store, you can use your mobile app to really understand what the product composition is, or to understand where the product is available. If it's not available in that store, you can buy online at Amazon.com, or you can actually find it somewhere other store as well. So we're trying to bring a better customer experience for our customers, right? To guarantee that their journey is well worth, right? I mean, if they go to our store, they should be able to complete their customer journey, buying everything they need, even if sometimes we don't carry the product that the customer wants. So we are offering omni-channel options and multi-banner options, so actually you can buy it from our Amazon Fresh stores or from Amazon.com as well, to kind of complete the whole customer journey and still respecting the quality standards that our stores require in Whole Foods.
So creating that seamless experience between the digital and the physical is what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I believe in the extended aisle concept. We're trying to really guarantee if you, for some reason, we don't carry the product the customer wants, we should be able to, through omni-channel, offer that in a different channel for them, right? And still they can receive that in a few hours, or they can pick up in front of the store in few minutes as well. So these options are being tested and explored and experimented, and we are seeing a lot of good returns on that.
And though, when you look forward into the future, what emerging health trends are you monitoring?
Yeah, as I said before, the main thing is the concept of health itself, and a more comprehensive view on that, understanding how can we improve the customer experience inside our stores for having a calm and actually nice environment for customers is also part of well-being, and also guaranteeing our quality standards are being kept to guarantee that the customer don't need to read labels when it comes to our stores, no stressful moments, just buy, should be sure it's safe for you. So this is very important for us, and that actually connects to the well-being part as well, so beyond just physical health. Physical health continues to be the very important thing for us, but actually connecting that to a more comprehensive experience and comprehensive well-being is what we are looking for more and more as an experience.
And are you seeing sort of things emerging in areas like gut health, for example, or like with the rise of GLP-1s, are you seeing things kind of emerging there?
We are seeing a lot. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because there's a good benefit on these drugs, you can really lose weight if you need to. But also they cause a lot of gut issues as well, like heartburn and stuff like that. So you're seeing a lot of people choosing for like a gut health shots or like a sourdough, things that actually are more mild for your stomach. That's really a trend we're seeing, and that's connected to these other trends. Yeah.
Yeah. And then how is that influencing product development?
It's always influenced product development. So we are seen as great innovators in product, as you know, and that thanks to our foragers and the information we're getting from this trends and food analysis we do. And actually, this helps us to really talking to suppliers locally. We have a program called LEAP that's basically incentivize local brands to become national brands and support us across many stores. And we've seen a lot of, if you think about Whole Foods history, a lot of very good national brands in organic and health food today started at Whole Foods. And we continue to promote that. We want actually to improve our impact. And even if its product is actually sold by our competitors later, we consider it as a good thing because actually we are increasing our impact to the community and to the health. Yeah.
And the LEAP program, how does one get in? Do you have brands that apply for that? Is that how people get in?
Yeah, we have many brands that apply for that, and we actually choose some brands as well locally that we see potential. And the idea is really to train them about how to grow, how to scale as a company, and also about how to continue to progress and have a distribution model that actually allows them for becoming a national brand, right? And many of them succeed very well. We have in turn of 10 brands that we choose per cycle. We are in the third cycle of LEAP, and we're going to continue exploring and evolving that more.
And there's a local element to that, which is wonderful.
Definitely, yeah. We praise a lot the local element of our stores. The customers go because they know they're going to find their local products there. And there's this good thing about going in every different store of Whole Foods and finding new products that you don't find in your local store. So that's actually, it creates a good momentum for our customer and for our sales as well. And it's pretty good because it actually promotes the communities, the small companies, and make them grow. Sometimes communities in necessity, they have local brands that are starting. We go there, help them to grow as a national brand. It happens many times already.
Okay, so let's transition to leadership experience. Can you tell us about your journey to Chief Technology Officer at Whole Foods?
Yeah, I have a few years of experience. I don't like to say decades, but it's actually decades. I always work in technology, and I'm actually in the last 10 years, I started focusing more on the digital and being closer to the customer, right? So that's what I like to be. And it's really pleasant to see how technology now can really fulfill the mission that I always had of like making technology actually something that improves the experience of the customer, improves the experience of people. It used for many years in my career, technology was just a necessary evil and people had to deal with that because it was a necessity. Now it's becoming really part of the business. And I actually work in a company today that's a technology company, being Amazon, right? And actually still can actually influence and impact the business and the customers pretty well. So I see technology today as a very good element, and my career has been following that. So, and I have a joke that I'm becoming more healthier as well. So I used to work for other great companies, but I mean, I'm now at Whole Foods that has the healthier product, so yeah.
And you talked a bit about how you see technology playing a role in Whole Foods strategy. Like, can you talk about that a little bit, especially within the Amazon ecosystem?
Yeah, technology comes to answer these problems or these questions that we have, like how can we serve our customers better? How can we have the right selection in that store? Right? Without technology, it's impossible to do that. Like, as I said, I have a multi-layer product selection, for instance. How can I do that without AI and technology? It's not possible, right? So technology comes there to help. And I think Whole Foods has seen a lot of that in the product selection, in the pricing composition, in the like where to put a store as well. So all these decisions follow technology support. And we are going more and more to evolve that into personalization and experience to the customer, extended aisles and stuff like that, yeah.
Terrific, thank you. So before we open it up to the audience for questions, I wanted to see if we could do a little fun lightning round here.
Sure.
Okay, so what's your favorite productivity hack or tool?
Yeah, I'm a nerdy, right? So I like tech, I like AI, and I'm using a lot of Amazon Q and actually Anthropic Compute Use. It's terrific. I mean, you get a document or you get a report and you don't need to actually look at the report, just ask the system, why the sales are down in this city, why this happening, and you get very, very meaningful answers. So it really helps productivity, as well as other things. Like I want to provide, write an email that should be more formal or more complete and guarantee transparency in the email. I ask the model to help me with that. So there are many different uses, and I do that use like many times a day.
Yeah. Just building on that a little bit, are there some that your team is using that you would recommend?
Yeah, I think there are many options, right? Because the models are generated, and then have like many applications being built on top, or agents being built on top, and you see more and more every day. So it's like we use some internal tools, but we can also look at outside for like image generation, for instance, video generation. It's been very helpful for presentations or for design. Always being careful. One thing that I always say: be careful about a license you have. Can you actually use the output of that for what you're doing? So that changes every day as well. Every single company has a different license model, so be very careful about that. I have a joke with my legal partner. I ask her every day something about, can I do that? Can I do that what I'm doing? So it's something that you really need to be doing a lot. So there are many tools available in the market. I recommend testing, experimenting them. Also being very careful about the outcome. Can you use the outcome for what we need?
Great, thank you. What is your best piece of leadership advice that you've ever received?
Yeah, I heard once from a leader, I think the first person who said that was Roosevelt, but it's basically like nobody in your team cares about what you know until they know that you care, right? So that's something I learned, and I really take it for me. Really like when you come to a new team or you have a new company, a new job, really like try to listen and try to understand what's going on and share that you care what they think about as well, and get these inputs all the time in your life before you start saying what you know and what you can be good about, right? So that's something that comes later, right? That's the main advice I got.
I love that. And then for those aspiring leaders, what's the advice you usually give them?
Yeah, I do a lot of mentorship, and my advice, at least it works for me well, is like, first of all, you need to nail what you do, right? Good performance on what you do. Because some people just say, I'm not liking what I do, I want to do something else, but then you don't deliver what you are doing today. That actually blocks you to do anything else, because nobody looks at you for the future, right? So first, deliver what you're doing, even if you don't like it very much. Just do it well. And then second, start like understanding what's your talent, right? I don't like the advice of following your passion. I like the advice of following your talent, because passion you should do over the weekends until you can actually make your passion something that you can live with, right? But talent, we actually can become your passion, because normally when you're good at something, you get passionate about that, right? So I believe you should be looking inside the company you are or wherever you are. What is your talent, and how can you help? This talent can help what the problems of this company or this situation is, and then start getting involved in that. Ask for participating in projects on that area. Try to show that you understand and you want to understand and learn more about that, and then magically it becomes your career, right? So that's the way I see it working, and I recommend as well.
Thank you. Questions from the audience?
Oi, Leonardo. My name is Karina, and with Priority Pass, airport lounges, and I have a question. What's the most exciting technology Whole Foods has integrated in the past few years to improve customer experience?
Yeah, there are many, but definitely the AI models and the Gen AI models and LLMs can be very helpful, for instance, in things like prediction of demand forecasting, and that can guarantee that when you go to a store, you're going to find a product that's not out of stock, and can get guaranteed that selection is the right one for you. That's what the customer wants most when you go to our stores, is to find the product they want, and it's available, right? So that's really a powerful thing that we are using AI for.
Thank you. And what's your current favorite tea?
Favorite what?
Tea, since you're switching from coffee.
I love jasmine tea, so that's I've seen different variations of jasmine tea, and that's what I'm trying recently. But I have, if you go to my desk, there's like 40 different teas in the back, and you can try if you want.
So this is a question that is more about leadership. You are Chief Technology Officer of a very complex system. And I also work in technology, and we are always excited about the next thing. How do you keep people on track and aligned to an objective without like killing their excitement for the thing that could potentially be noise instead of solutions? So how do you keep people moving in the same direction?
It's hard to answer that without being very obvious. You need to focus on the customer and the problems of the customers. Don't talk about technology. I see many companies today having targets of having AI projects. And so why this process for? I mean, AI is a technology. There's no, it's not an outcome, it's a means, right, for something. And I think it really like a guarantee that people are focused on the problem and they get passionate about the problem, solving that problem. That's what makes them focus, right? Otherwise, they get distracted by, like, now the discussion about which model is better for AI, that doesn't matter. I mean, they're all evolving, they're going to be good for us. So it's just like thinking about how that can solve the customer problem, basically.
Another question? It's like a talk show host. I'm running around the audience over here. It's fine. No, it's fine. Thank you.
Hey, Les Harrison with Outfront. You work within Amazon. Is all the data within that wall garden, like, do you still have those walls, or are you sharing data back and forth? And if so, like, what are you able to do with it, and how are you able to use it?
Yeah, Amazon has something very interesting that I like as a model for any company that's called STO. That's like single-threaded ownership, meaning that every business is kind of their own CEO of that business, right? And they have protections and wall garden as well. So meaning that every business has their data that they agreed with their customers to have access to, and that's protected there. So you cannot just come out, let me give you all the Amazon data to use. That's not possible and should not be possible, of course, right? And it's just because it would be stupid to do that as well. So it's really like every business have their own data that they can use and can share, and that's basically first-part data and zero-part data, meaning the data that actually customers willingly provided to us, right?
We have time for one more question. Anybody? Right up front? Right over here?
I just relocated from Southern California, where there were many, many Whole Foods, to small coastal North Carolina, where we don't have a lot of Whole Foods. How can I petition to get one built, like, near my house? Because I'm also a tea fanatic, and I love the selection you guys have.
Yeah, it's interesting. We intend to grow faster than we are growing. And the main reason we are not growing faster is because it's very hard to find locations for us to open. We have my colleague that owns that part. I don't envy her because, I mean, she's really working hard to get this in the pipeline. And I mean, we're open to opening stores every single place in the US. I think there is space for that. It's just like hard to find the right location, unfortunately. Yeah. And I love our stores in South California, by the way. I love them all.
My question is not nearly as fun as that one, but towards the beginning of the talk, you mentioned some trends such as protein, water, sourdough. I'm curious what type of measurement goes into determining those trends.
It's a very, very detailed and complex process. I mean, of course, there's a lot of art on this, right? It's not only science, right? I mean, basically, all the foragers provide inputs. We read a lot of health reports from institutes, and we read about what's happening in the world as well, not only in US. And that actually feeds, and then it comes like a very long list of trends, and then you try to select which ones are actually we are seeing ticking a bit more on our stores. Like, I mean, yeah, we see our sourdough bread selling more and more, so it seems to be a trend that's actually kicking off, right? So there's a mix of things, but what's happening in our stores count as well as an information.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you, Leandro. Thank you to all of you. And thank you, Brand Innovators, for hosting us today.
Thank you.